microphone up close. Webcam microphone up close.
At the age of 19 in 1962, she was a...
But I have the files. I read this stuff at the National Archives, and I read these other things. I said to myself, how can that be possible? The brain, pistols and fondle slap of choice, and computers, the internet, professional wrestlers, and not Jesse Ventura style. It doesn't matter where the information comes from as long as it's real. It's hard to get real information. Because seriously, they don't want you to have just read two sources whenever I try to prove out. It's not. If you expect your government to tell you the truth, you're going to be sadly disappointed. Another one of these things.
Dear Lord, what a dirty, dirty old man, huh?
Really? Can't be serious. Is this really how you want things to be? Come on. More hooker, eruptions. Eruptions, whatever.
Like Dave Powers kind of...
Really?
Allegedly broadcast live from FEMA Region 2, within the borders of the formerly united and currently occupied states of America. We bring you the Ochelli Effect.
It's like, damn sure, no, I'm an original. We have all these situations. I'd love to know why it takes 50 years, for a 19-year-old girl to eventually get up to gumption to put these things out.
Good evening, UCY.TV radio listeners. It is February 7th, 2015. This is the Ochelli Effect as broadcast live on UCY.TV radio. Oh, boy. And, yes, I wanted to respond to all you guys in the chat room. Hooper, hello. Who else? It's almost impossible to get things going here. Let's see. Somebody says they blame me. Okay, Captain Gringo says I blame Chuck. Yes, always blame me. That is the best default decision you could possibly make. Anyways, Anon, greetings. Dr. Ochelli, that's funny. Road Dog, hey, how you doing? All right. Evening to everybody in the chat room and those listening elsewhere on whatever application you're using, website, etc. I don't care. If you're hearing it later on YouTube, well, you're not getting the live show, so deal. Anyway, tonight, although I'm not entirely sure, tonight I should be joined by Suzanne Posen a little bit. Man, everything was like real sluggish and stupid running a little earlier. I don't understand what's happening with the computer. And what really scares me is I'm going to upgrade the equipment. I'm going to get rid of that nasty buzzing noise that everybody hears over me. I'm going to actually use a microphone with a condenser and a few other things, so you'll actually have a professional sound coming out of this show. Well, everything is professional except the host. But, hey, what can you do? By the way, just a little note. Finally, my email address is actually at the ucy.tv/TOE page. So if you go there, if you do bother to go there and you join in on the chat or you talk to anybody else or whatever else, go right ahead. And there's my email, clickable link. Also, my donate button is now up there. Okay, I finally broke down and put it there. I doubt anybody will donate anything. Though everybody loves to make suggestions about wonderful projects that I should and could work on and places I could and should go, that's never an issue. Everybody's got plenty of opinions about what I should be doing with my time and resources, what little I have. But doubt anybody would even put $1 toward those plane, train, or whatever other tickets and forget about me leaving the country because they took my passport deal. Anyway, yeah, I'm on lists. Can't even tell myself why. Let's see now. Oh, it looks like might be able to add Suzanne in just a moment. Let's see if I can get her. Let's see if I'm competent enough to operate the Skype tonight. And I did bring her up on the show with Roger Landry, I think, earlier in the week, and I always like to point to the work at OccupyCorporatism.com, also the U.S. Independent. Suzanne is fairly prolific. There's a kind word for the amount of volume she puts out regarding the articles, regarding the social media stuff that hits, regarding all of it. So, let's see. Is it me, or is it the Skype, or is it the computer, or what? It's going to be one of those Saturdays, isn't it? Well, anyway, back to what I was talking about before, and the upgrades and things like that I'm going to do. It's going to allow me to actually be able to play clips instead of them sounding like they're coming through, a radio I might have bought in the 70s. What is that? Okay. Wow, it's definitely going to be one of those nights, people. You know, the other night, actually, when I was just sitting here trying to get some research done, I got yet another call from from one of the people that does the anti-media show, right? So I've gotten these calls that I've missed later on, because usually I'm crashing out, by the time they're on air. And at this point in time, I get a couple of calls that are missed. The next morning I see I missed a call from, I forget what the ID was, but I recognized it as somebody who was definitely part of the discussion on anti-media. And I was sitting there trying to figure that one out, and had to explain to somebody in the chat room that there was a problem, and I didn't know why. But see, I actually answered the call, and they didn't realize I was even there. I don't know if anybody is in the chat room that is that was there then, but wow. It was really weird, because I was sitting there on the call muted up, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. So anyway, it's going to be one of those kind of nights. I can see it already. Good evening, Hecty, also. Nice. Anyway, let's see if we can actually raise Suzanne up one more time. How much you want to bet she forgot that she's doing my show tonight? Let's see. I am forgettable lately. Tell you, it's been one of those kind of weeks. And if I have to wind up switching gears and just doing my thing differently tonight, I will. But, man, I was planning on discussing these articles with her, and I had some clips which I was saving for Jaded, but might have to switch gears here and figure something else out. Oh, come on, Skype, really? Thank you for the sound check. Ooh. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny stuff. Yeah. Come on. Okay, nothing's going to work properly tonight.
You have reached the voicemail box of...
Okay, then. Hey. All right. It will be like a biblical miracle. Well, guess what? Your biblical miracle has struck, because apparently Suzanne's not showing up for the show. So, tell you what, though, I do have the phone lines. If anybody wants to randomly join me, 718-717-8296. Go right ahead and call in. We'll discuss anything you want. You want to talk about the latest chapter in the ISIS crisis? I know that's going to be a hot topic for me on Tuesday. After I'm done with Landry in the first hour, the second hour, we're going to go into it. But, hey, who knows? Let's see, what else do I have in the news? Because to hell with it, I'll just do it my own way. This is where I got to go freestyle, right? Let's see. Oh, you know what? This I didn't even get to view. But, hey, let's just grab it and go. Okay, hang on a second. Gotta back this up. Now you guys get to put up with a cigarette in my mouth, too. Oh, I know what happened here. This is great. I wasn't going to be playing clips until I did Jaded later. But let's see how it goes. Alrighty then. Ourselves. Didn't even get to check.
It was a misspelled bomb threat written in pencil on an elementary school bathroom wall. Well, the Upson County Sheriff's Department filed a felony charge of making a terroristic threat against a young student.
Well, our Fox 5 I-team found the child who was charged was a 9-year-old boy with autism. And his mother tells our senior I-team reporter Dale Russell that in this case, zero tolerance has just gone too far.
That's what the mother and the stepfather believe, and the debate about this is on. We heard from hundreds of people on our own Facebook page, most questioning why a charge was filed against the boy. But the sheriff told us he can't take chances, and the boy promises he'll never do it again.
This is from a Fox affiliate. Actually, I got to thank one of the Pigmine channels on YouTube, because this is where I grabbed it from. Where I found it and then downloaded this thing. But isn't that amazing, right? Let's continue on with the story. Of course, right now we're looking at, for those of you just listening to me, we're looking at pictures of this kid who's, typical looking kid, a little heavy, a little, typical sleepwalker's kid out there. And of course, I'm sure he's well vaccinated. But anyway, let's continue on with the clip.
Last December at Upson Lee Elementary School, a 9-year-old told a hall monitor he'd found a bomb threat written in the bathroom, second stall, behind the door, with a time 1 hour away. I would love to see my grandchildren! Shocking stories of school violence seem like an everyday occurrence today. No one takes chances. When the writing was discovered on the bathroom wall, Principal Shad Seymour followed county protocol and called 911 to alert the sheriff and then evacuated his school. There were about 650 or so people between children and adults who had to be taken out into the cold so that we could investigate the bomb threat. Upson County Sheriff Dan Kilgore says his deputies took no chances, swept the school, and decided to talk with the eyewitness again. We've got to take every threat seriously. The threat was written in pencil. Both bomb and threat were misspelled. And the child who said he found this quickly confessed that he actually wrote it. So the sheriff charged the 9-year-old with a felony, making terroristic threats. And did he know what he was doing? He said that he did. He understood what a bomb was. And matter of fact,
he said that he did. That would be, definitive proof that somebody knows what they're doing because they said they did. Are we kidding? By the way, the word bomb appears to have been spelled B-O-M-E. And threat was misspelled as well, and they showed a picture of it, and it's clearly childish writing. It's clearly like, yeah, I made a bomb threat. Yay, I made a bomb threat. Oh, my God, what's wrong with people?
He described it in detail and then apologized for making the threat. Why did you write that?
I don't know.
Meet the face of terrorism in Upson County. Did you want to hurt anybody?
No, sir.
You weren't going to build a bomb, were you?
No, sir, I don't know how to.
A kid who looks like he's in the Chubsy Ubsy part of one of the Old Little Rascal skits. You guys have probably never seen that. A reject for the role of Pugsley on the Addams Family. They did make Addams Family movies. All right.
Edwards is now 10, a fourth grader. He loves lizards.
We named him Jeffrey.
U.S. presidents, scouting, and his family, especially his mother. So much so, when a deputy asked him to write out a confession, he remembered it word for word.
I'm sorry for writing the bomb threat, and I should never do this again. Please do not take me away from my mom.
Jake knows he did something wrong. His mother, Kelly, thinks she knows why.
At the time, he didn't understand what he was doing.
Jake has been diagnosed with autism. She says he is impulsive, fixates, and has a poor concept of consequences. Kelly thinks Jake got the idea for the bomb threat a week earlier. She and Jake were picking up his stepbrother from middle school.
Bomb threat. T-H-R-A-T. That's the way they spelled it. Wonderful. Wonderful. Is everybody else sick to their stomach yet? Okay. Moving on.
A teacher told them someone had written a bomb threat on the bathroom wall. The school was evacuated. Kids were just hanging out. Kelly thinks Jake just wanted the kids at his school to have the same kind of fun.
It looked fun, yes. There was lots of them laughing. They were waving as they were walking out of the school. It just looked like something fun.
Kelly Hicks says school administrators weren't afraid of Jake. He was given a 3-day suspension, went right back to class. The family doesn't have money for a lawyer and doesn't understand why Jake is facing a felony terroristic threat charge. Should he have been charged?
I don't believe so. Not given his situation, that he's autistic, he's in special education, he's special needs. No, I think that's a little severe for his situation.
I don't know what you guys think of this. I'm thoroughly disgusted with law enforcement and the overreaction of the school system and all that kind of stuff. Isn't that just lovely and typical of the time we live in? Wow and wow. So I'm done with that one. But anyhow, let's see. Okay, let's see what else I have. And then maybe I'll try and grab Susan one more time. Oh, here's a no-duh sort of moment. Hang on a second. Let's drag this over here. Okay, go. All right. There you go. Let's see here. See, I wasn't planning on doing this.
A study shows that the majority of U.S. investigative journalists believe the government is monitoring their communications. According to the survey, 64% of journalists feel that they're under government observation.
Does it need that kind of dramatic music for The Sky is Blue? Not sure. See if we can give this one a little more volume.
Those who report on national security, foreign affairs, or the federal government express the most concern. A study shows that the majority of U.S. investigative journalists believe the government is monitoring their communications. According to the survey, 64% of journalists feel that they're under government observation. Those who report on national security, foreign affairs, or the federal government express the most concern.
Yeah, they express the most concern. I like that little news brief. That's a keeper. I'm going to say to that one. I really am. Okay. It's one of those things, though, you know. We're all crazy for talking about how how they continue on with this nightmare nonsense of electronic jamming, interference, and otherwise, pinging the hell out of every single one of us who has anything bad or negative or in any way sort of abrasive to say about the feds, the federal government, the wondrous, beautiful people at the NSA, right? Or, the Obama administration, the United States in general, anybody who could be a potential domestic threat of some sort or another, especially us nonviolent extremists who happen to believe in conspiracies. And notice I don't say theory, I say conspiracies, because conspiracies are part of realities. Whole lot of criminal charges that go through every single day in your most localized courthouses have things to do with conspiracies. All it takes is more than one person acting in concert to do something in a negative fashion to have a criminal conspiracy, right? Literally coming from the old language meaning to breathe together. Anyway, let's see if we can raise Suzanne one more time. And then after that, I give up. Let's see. Do. I feel like I should be playing Jeopardy music. Do. Oh, man. Well, that's the end of that. And, of course, Frankie's making plenty of noise in the other room. You guys can probably hear that as well. All right, I guess we'll just go back to mining the news clips. Wonderful. Let's just do that. Okay, so drag and drop. And as I said, I really was going to try and organize these things in between. Let's see what we have here. Oh, well, this was interesting also. All this stuff, by the way, was pointed in my direction, or I was pointed in the direction of all this stuff by Pigmine 2, which, as you all well know, is just, those wonderful guys that Jules likes to refer to a lot. Everybody who's familiar with this network knows who they are. But you find them, Pigmine 2, Pigmine 5, 6, I think they still have 5 up on YouTube, and they get channels shut down all the time. But they condense the mainstream nonsense. And I'm telling you right now, if this keeps up, I'm going to crack open a beer, and I'm just going to start speaking my mind randomly, and we're going to have a real crazy show. So let's see if I can get something accomplished here tonight. All right. And
now at 5, the good news tonight is that a large quantity of missing Army ammunition has been safely recovered in Miami-Dade County. But how the ammo was lost in the first place has some feeling unsafe and angry at what may have been a major case of carelessness. CBS 4's Gary Nelson has the story.
Lots of us have seen and been shaken by pretend Homeland Security exercises like this one over Miami in 2011. And the sound of choppers, even blank gunfire in the Grove a year later, nobody got hurt and nothing went wrong. Unlike an exercise by these and other Army Black Hawk helicopters in war games Wednesday night along the Miami-Dade Broward line.
It was just loud. I was like, oh, well. I guess because it was right overhead. They came right overhead.
Someone captured the circling choppers on a cell phone.
Mom! What the hell?
The heck of it is, one of these choppers dropped this, a steel container full of ammunition overboard somewhere near the county line. Some folks were angry to see...
God bless cell phone cams. Okay. Love the look of the box. It reminds me of some of the very old ammunition boxes that I used to carry around to secure certain things. I used to keep my film equipment, my recording equipment when I went to go do interviews with people. And don't worry, I'm not going to get into a JFK tear tonight, though I could at any moment. So, I don't know if you want to keep praying for Suzanne not to show up, or if you want to pray for her to show up. I don't know. Let's see. We'll continue on with this clip. There's an old man standing there, and he's about to make a comment, it looks like.
What might have come falling down on them.
I think they need to be more careful. People's lives are at stake when you make these mistakes, and it's very dangerous.
The Army, in announcing a series...
Do you think that ammunition falling from the sky could be dangerous? Water is wet. The sky is blue unless they chemtrail it. Women are crazy. Alcohol never leads to anything that someone doesn't regret in quantity. These are all realities of the world. GMO foods, not a good idea. GMO people, not a good idea. Vaccinations. It's the world of the vaccinated. Okay.
The 4 games to be played here said in a release, every precaution will be taken to mitigate the risks for the safety of all. Whoever's in charge of keeping the ammo boxes from falling out of the helicopters maybe didn't get the memo. Experts tell us that this ammo tin would hold 1,000 rounds and weigh about 50 pounds, that the chopper would have to have been in a steep bank and the container unsecured for it to fall out. The Army is investigating. An obvious question, as we showed the high-powered picture around.
Did they ever find that?
Well, yes, they did. Somewhere in northwest Miami-Dade today, the ammo recovered safely, and the bomb of sorts dropped from one of these choppers did not strike anyone's home. Now, the Army says these operations are going to continue through next Thursday in South Florida with no public notice or warning. So, Keep your ears open and your eyes up. You never know what might be coming your way. In Opelika, Gary Nelson, CBS 4 News.
Yeah, you never know what might be coming your way. I don't even know what to say about all that, except, could it be dangerous to drop, ammunition out of a helicopter on, civilian targets? Maybe. It's wonderful to have this stuff going on, isn't it? Absolutely wonderful. Yeah. Led to many great discoveries, like paper bags overhead. Thank you, Anon. Oh, what? Alcohol has led to many great discoveries, like paper bags over heads. Well, if you're quite familiar with that discovery and you're quite familiar with that practice, what can I say to you? What can I say to you? I've never been forced to put a paper bag or a plastic bag or a bag of any sort over anybody's head. Though I might have probably benefited someone else if I had put one over mine. Anyway. What else do we have? The wonderful world of randomness. And just to make a couple people angry, click on Suzanne one more time, see if I can get her. Let's see, 1,000 rounds of belted venom would sell for $500 easy. Yeah. Ammo from heaven. Nice. Okay. Anyway. So, what else do I have to talk to you guys about? Well, barring any further problems like I'm having with raising Suzanne, because I don't think she's coming. Barring any kind of problems like that on other nights, let's see what we do have coming up. Right. On Tuesday, I'm going to have, of course, Roger Landry and a former counterintelligence agent to discuss the entire ISIS construct. By the way, if you guys want to join me, anybody wants to call in and you're on my Skype list, hit me up. I will drop you in. If not, you can call 718-717-8296. That's the normal line. I do have the phones. Okay. Let's see now. On the 12th, we got Bill Muckler, which I'm not entirely familiar with his writings, but he seems to be an interesting and sincere guy from the little bit of contact I've had with him, so we're just going to wing that one. Okay. On the 14th, I did cancel the St. Valentine's Day Massacre special, which I was going to do, because I'm very pissed off about the vaccinations and things, and Dr. Rebecca Carley and Leslie Carroll will both be on that night. So, Valentine's Day treat. Okay, 17th, of course, Roger Landry returns, and one of the makers of What in the World Are They Spraying should be on with me that night. Okay. Let's see, on the 19th, we have, Jim DiEugenio, and I'm going to bring back Dylan Wade, because we haven't heard from Dylan in a bit, and I do want to hear what kind of nonsense has been created in his high school history class recently by the Walking Wounded there. Greg Carlwood of the Higher Side Chats will be on the 21st, barring all these other problems. And, of course, Frank Gregory Ford will return on the 26th. And March is shaping up interestingly as well. I am trying to plan and coordinate something with H.P. Albarelli, actually. So, because I want to have him on to go over this whole scenario with the Terrible Mistake book that I'm currently working on. Anyway, so that's what's upcoming on the Ochelli Effect, provided we don't have nights like we're having right now where nothing is working properly, and I guess should just consider myself lucky to be on the air. Okay, let's see what this is. Oh, okay, a little more police state news. Let's see what we got here.
Philadelphia, where officers said they had been attacked. A girlfriend convinced it was her loved one attacked by the police. hunting down the surveillance video on her own. Here's ABC's Lindsay Janis.
This surveillance video captures a brutal beating. 23-year-old Najee Rivera screams as he's pushed up against a wall by two police officers, then hit repeatedly. But that night, Rivera was the one arrested, accused of assaulting officers Kevin Robinson and Sean McKnight and resisting arrest.
Well, maybe he damaged their uniforms by getting blood on them again. Didn't that happen? I think that happened. That has happened several times, hasn't it? Just like being charged with resisting arrest when you're not even, in a position where you need to be arrested. I like that one, too. You're resisting arrest, therefore that's why you're being arrested. Chicken, egg, you're resisting arrest, therefore you're being, arrested. And since you're resisting arrest, you're being arrested. And since you're being arrested, you're being arrested. Spell my name, George. Okay, sorry.
Until that video of the May 2013 incident surfaced.
The video undermined every aspect of the officer's account of the incident.
That crucial surveillance tape discovered by Rivera's girlfriend.
She went door to door in this Philadelphia neighborhood searching for any business that may have caught the incident on camera. She found one here.
Rivera admits he fled from the officers on his scooter. But on the video, when the police catch up, they knock him to the ground, then strike him repeatedly.
What they did was totally inappropriate, totally improper.
A grand jury concluding Rivera did not attempt to assault either officer, finding the officers later falsified police reports.
What a shocker there. They run the guy down on his scooter. They run him down with a car and then proceed to, beat the living crap out of him. But, that's the way it goes.
This is a case where these officers were doing their jobs, and we look forward to going to trial.
The police officers have been suspended from the force and are pleading not guilty to assault charges.
What a shocker there. Of course they're not guilty, and they're looking forward to going to trial where they can be acquitted, relieved of responsibility, and absolutely exonerated for doing precisely what it is they're supposed to, which is suppressing the people on the street as best as possible, to the best of their ability, I should say, and doing their level best to make sure that there is no way in hell that anybody, absolutely escapes a confrontation with the police with unscathed, right? Anyway.
Rivera has already won a $200,000 settlement from the city of Philadelphia. Lindsay Janis, ABC News, Philadelphia.
Well, there you go, right? He's got a $200,000 settlement because, and don't give me this crap about the preponderance of evidence is a whole lot different in a civil trial, which it is. But, I mean, to some degree, there's got to be some common sense here on occasion. A guy's run over on his scooter. I mean, what was he, a fleeing murderer, a fleeing rapist? What was this guy doing? Probably nothing other than being in the sights of these two officers. All right, well, let's go to international news. I'm not even sure if one of these videos is going to work. Let's just see what we get when we look at, because, ISIS, okay. Let's go to the ISIS situation. Of course, you have the the whole volleying back and forth of the news regarding this American who has been killed and exactly how she was killed, Mueller there. But previous to this and post burning alive of the Jordanian pilot, right? I found this clip kind of interesting. Of course, let's see what we get here.
Now, Islamic State has released graphic footage showing the latest execution of a hostage. Jordanian pilot Muath al-Kasesbeh was burned alive while trapped inside a cage. Now, Jordan has confirmed the killing. The death sparked fury in the country over the government's failure to free the captive. Amman responded by saying it has executed 2 Islamists who have been on death row for terrorism, and the monarchy pledged to keep carrying out airstrikes against Islamic State. Now, al-Kasesbeh was seized in December after his fighter jet crashed during a bombing run in Syria. The extremist group wanted Jordan to release a convicted terrorist in return for the pilot's life.
This is all on RT, by the way, so, temper it with that understanding.
But Amman refused the exchange, saying it had no proof the hostage was still alive. He's the latest captive to be executed by the radicals, and the first shown being burnt alive. Dozens of others were beheaded. Yeah, we will keep you updated on this story, both on air and online. You can always get some of the latest details at rc.com.
Yeah, of course. I don't know. You guys got any thoughts about that? Because I'll tell you something. I mean, it's completely incongruous in my mind with the concept of being a radical Islamist that you would burn anyone alive. Because, you know, according to my understanding, the only entity that should be, you know, conducting executions by way of fire should be God. You know, perhaps I'm misunderstanding the flavor of the most extreme fundamentalist end of that religion. Now, there are some who I've talked to who explained to me that it is relatively unknown among the American public that there was fire quite often used in some of the torture facilities during the occupation and invasion of Iraq, during the occupation and invasion of Afghanistan, against some pretty extreme Islamists over there, and therefore this may be the blowback, as it were, directly relating to that, but, you know, I don't necessarily agree with it. Quite factually, I don't think that that stuff was widely known to the world press. I do believe that the American press, regardless of how controlled they are, would have had to have seized upon that at the very least, if to do nothing else but to mislead us, to tell us that these were allegations that were being made. This would have made some bigger rumbles in the true extremist Muslim community out there. Okay, and you know, it doesn't make a lot of sense. What does make a lot of sense, though, is that we are seeing this uptick of violence. We are seeing a lot of other things going on over there. You know, I'm sure the Turks are not too thrilled with their deal that they have cut at this point regarding the, you know, continued occupation, reinvasion of the balkanized state of Iraq. I am very, very sure that everybody is pretty well worried about what's going to go on in Syria. Of course, you know, you can't tell exactly who's on whose side over there. And what is going to happen to the Saudis when they run out of oil? I wonder. And all of that, while our gas prices did fall quite a bit in recent months, and of course we had a spike in recent days, you know, none of that stuff, again, making a whole lot of sense, because there is a minimum of a 90-day window between production and actually witnessing what the production provides on the streets. So it is a strange topic. Anyway, no, try and join me in again on Skype. Go ahead, man. I don't have time, and I don't want to be banging on keys to type to you, so just understand. If you tried to just reach me on the Skype and didn't get through, try again, okay? Thanks very much. And that wasn't for Suzanne, that was for somebody else. But hey, who knows? Who knows? Also, yeah, I did mention the phone number before I played that last clip, so it doesn't really matter right now. Okay. This is what happens when my plans go badly. You know, this is going to force me to have to read stuff, and I do hate to read on the air because it never, ever comes out right. Okay. Move this out of the way. And let's see if this will play. Okay, let's give this a shot because, let's see, okay, here's a video relating to the U.S. hostage claims of being killed. The early reports, probably before they were, I think I downloaded this before they were releasing her name and her photographs and attempting to evoke sympathy for, you know, nice American girl. Let's see.
We begin tonight with the breaking headlines Line, the last American hostage held by ISIS, a young woman, her parents back home in Arizona, hoping for months she'd be freed. Tonight, ISIS says that woman, Kayla Mueller, 26 years old, is dead. Here she is, back home with her mother here in the U.S. Tonight, ISIS says they are not the ones who killed her. They say she was killed as a result of the airstrikes against ISIS, in particular an airstrike by Jordan, that country a key U.S. ally, just losing their own hero pilot to ISIS. Tonight, for the first time, we hear about who she was. The family had kept quiet, hoping it would help get her home. The star student back home in Arizona who wanted to change the world. ABC's chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross.
Until today, Kayla Mueller's family feared any public mention of her plight as an ISIS hostage would endanger the life of this 26-year-old American idealist. But now, in an online message, ISIS is claiming she was killed in an airstrike on this building in the city of Raqqa, carried out, they claim, by Jordanian pilots. But ISIS provided no evidence of its claim.
I cannot confirm those reports in any way. People are looking into them, but cannot confirm them.
Jordan has carried out a series of airstrikes in Syria against ISIS this week, retaliation for the murder by ISIS of a captured Jordanian pilot. And U.S. officials told ABC News tonight the building cited by ISIS was a weapons storage facility struck by the Jordanians, but that does not prove Kayla Mueller was there.
Interesting possibilities there, because after all, it would be rather difficult to determine exactly which plane was hitting which building. I mean, do they have great air surveillance? Are they actually surveilling the sky very, very well as these bombing runs are being done? Interesting questions. I wonder if anybody ever bothered to ask them. Okay, anyway.
There's no question that ISIS is responsible for her death, whether it occurred during a bombing or at the hands of ISIS.
Kayla grew up in Prescott, Arizona, an all-American girl and student leader who wanted to make the world a better place. She was captured a year and a half ago in the Syrian city of Aleppo, where she had gone to work with refugees, shortly after posting this video on YouTube.
I am in solidarity with the Syrian people. I reject the brutality and killing that the Syrian authorities are committing against the Syrian people.
Police this afternoon closed off the street in Prescott where Kayla's parents live. They had worked desperately behind the scenes to find a way to gain their daughter's freedom after ISIS first threatened to kill her on her birthday last August, demanding a $6 million ransom be paid.
Well, you know, they waited quite a while to kill her, huh? I'll tell you what else. Anybody, you know, who leaves this slave state to go to that slave state to try and free other slaves, you know, this is the kind of thing that's going to happen. It just is. And I don't even know how she died, and, you know, it's my contention, obviously, and always has been my contention, that these great terrorist networks and radical Islamic groups are really just the extensions of other intelligence agencies, namely our own, and other European agencies, and, of course, the Israelis controlling this stuff as a constant. This is what goes on, and this is how the game is played, and these are the people that are caught in the crossfire. But I do wonder on some occasions exactly what possesses somebody to go there to work with the refugees. You know, I don't know what organization she belonged to. I didn't read up on it. I don't know exactly what she was doing over there or anything else, but to go to a land and to sit there in solidarity with its people. On the one hand, I kind of have to respect the type of courage that takes, but on the other hand, I have to wonder about the level of disregard for one's own personal safety when it comes right down to it, because, I mean, if she wasn't well protected, she wasn't well protected. And there's nonsense about, you know, well, they demanded a ransom, or they were going to kill her on her birthday last year, and they only decided, you know, to keep holding her, and then she just happened to die during this year. This sounds like such a made-up story. You know, this girl, I don't know what the deal is, but I don't know why I just feel like calling BS. And, of course, the, you know, always bullcrap. I mean, ABC News is giving you the story here. And, again, thanks to the coalition of videos by Pigmine. But, you know, man, it leaves me with a whole lot more questions than answers, and again, just puts more of a nasty feeling in the pit of my stomach, because you know what it is. All this stuff is being utilized. Oh no, there's going to be lone wolves, and there's going to be tremendous attacks, and there. Let me enlighten you about the real terrorist organizations that have existed on this planet, and not a single person who has dealt with one of these terrorist organizations, and I don't care where they really are from or where they're not from, or it doesn't matter. If they're a real legitimate, a group of, freedom fighters / terrorists, when they make threats, they always follow through. Always follow through if they're legitimate, because that's the only thing they have is their threats. And you see, if I make a threat today, okay, let's just pull away from all this. But think about this. If I'm standing next to you and I say, look, I'm going to punch you in the face by the end of the day if you don't do this. Next day comes and you haven't been hit in the face, you're not going to take me very seriously the next time I tell you I'm going to punch you in the face. Or next time maybe I'll say I'm going to shoot you in the head. Well, you're going to say, well, the guy told me he was going to punch me in the face. He never did that. So, it's a pretty good bet that he's not going to shoot me. Common sense. I don't know. Why? Well, common sense, mainstream media. What's wrong with me, right? Okay, I'm having this whole, thought thrashing session right now. Just for God knows what reason. I mean, well, I know what reason, because my plans did not work out for tonight's show. But I think all this stuff is worthy of discussion, and a lot of these issues I'm going to wind up going into in the coming weeks for sure. And this ISIS thing is bothering me more and more. The more I'm watching it unfold, the more BS they're piling on top of what might have actually been a legitimate grassroots thing at one point in time, but was absolutely co-opted and taken over and, co-intelled, as it were, probably, let me throw the word probably away, was co-intel-proed by U.S. and Israeli and very, very likely British intelligence to keep the game going over there, so that the war for profit never stops, so that the continuous brushfire warfare is continuous, so that there's plenty of money to be made by the Raytheons and the and the Halliburtons and the whatever Blackwater's calling themselves nowadays, and the on and on and on and on. And the military-industrial complex beast keeps getting fed more and more, and we play these religiously based games so that it seems like you have a good guy and a bad guy to root for, and let's just keep on with it. And by the way, worry about it in Iowa. They might bring Sharia law to you, even though they don't enforce the American laws as they stand now, and they don't actually, support the use of their own state constitutions in most cases. Let's worry that there's going to be another court system that's going to come in and take over things. Let's do that. That makes a lot of sense. All right. Moving forward.
This is just horrible. Brian with us now, and it's believed she was the last American hostage held by ISIS, and U.S. authorities have indicated to you that they had tried to avoid buildings where hostages might be held.
That's right. In fact, tonight, David, U.S. officials say they are far from convinced that this was the way that she was killed, if she in fact is dead.
All right, Brian Ross leading us off tonight. Brian, thank you.
Brian Ross. Well, at least it wasn't Brian Williams, right? Trying to tell us that he was in a helicopter that was actually struck by an explosive device or whatever, and actually he was lying about it, and he got called out about it, and dear God, why not, right? Gotta love this stuff, man. Gotta love this stuff. Anyway, where shall we go from here? We are living Talmudic law. You know what? Anon 5977, I would love for you to come on and explain how we are living in Talmudic law. Really, please do. I'll be more than happy to have you come on as an anonymous phone caller. 718-717-8296 if you've got a phone. Try that. If not, you know what? You can get on my Skype list real easy. Send a contact request, and I won't even reveal who you are. Okay? Try that. Charles.Ochelli, spelled Ochelli. I'll accept any contact request. I throw them away after they, for some reason people have been trolling lately and asking me, weird, salacious sexual questions through the Skype contacts, which I don't understand why it is somebody would go hunting for for sex on Skype, but I guess stranger things have been done, and, why not? But no, I don't want any mail order brides, and no, I don't need any sexy pictures of your sister or anything else like that. You can just make a Skype contact request, though, if you'd like. So, be more than happy. Yeah, it is actually a challenge, gringo. I will be more than happy to have someone come on here and tell me all about Talmudic law. Matter of fact, I'll be more than happy to have somebody come on here at any point in time and have any conversation with me they want to. Remember, I'm not Kim, though. It ain't all fun. So, come on. Do it. Do it. Okay. Now I'll put out my cigarette. And let's see, what else can I move along to? What other videos do we have? You know what? I don't feel like playing any more videos. Let's, well, since nobody is going to actually call in and come on, let's see if I can dredge somebody else up. With an A. Excuse me. All right. Come on now. Nothing is cooperating. I love it. See, I'm going to have to do that whole run the damn antivirus and the blockers and everything else again because it's just not working out right. It seemed to be, though, for a couple of days. But, nothing ever stays where it's supposed to. Now, let's see now. Let's try one more time. And just so everybody knows, I have absolutely given up on Suzanne, so. Okay. So. Oh, hey, Kim. How you doing?
I'll join you.
You'll join me?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I got a challenge out to the chat room so far because they were talking how we were living under Talmudic law. So, I said, come on and explain it. I'll be more than happy to have you on.
I just need headphones.
Oh, headphones, I got them for you. Actually, I had set these up, and I already played all the clips because I was trying to raise Suzanne over and over again.
What she doing, blow you off?
I don't think she blew me off. I think she somehow thinks I meant the March date instead of the February date. That's what I think happened there. So that's what I'm supposing. But you know what? Let's try and raise her one more time anyway. I was going to just completely give up, but let's try one more time if we can get Suzanne Posel.
Are my headphones plugged in?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, you're plugged in right here.
Well, all right.
All right?
Yep.
Okay.
Who's on tonight? Let's see. We got Hopper HB.
Oh, yeah, I'll get you a list. I'll get you a list of everybody.
Nick. Jack's Rocks.
Up. Nope, see, Suzanne is now not even showing us online, so.
Oh, well.
Could be a technical issue, too. That's another problem.
You know what I just saw on CNN.com?
Oh, God, what?
Brian Williams is off the air for his egg on the face for saying he was in that helicopter that got shot in Iraq.
Well, what did they do? Suspend him? I was just talking about that.
Yeah, he's off the air.
Oh, wow.
Well, how do you mess up that story?
How do you mess up that story? Well, you don't. You don't.
Exactly. It's a bunch of bullshit.
Reminds me very much, a lot of people don't remember this, but, you know, for years, Jesse Jackson went around and told stories about, you know, having cradled Martin Luther King Jr. when he was dying. Did you know about that?
Yeah, but wasn't he wasn't anywhere around him, was he?
Oh, he was there.
He was there, but he wasn't holding his head as the man was bleeding.
Absolutely. The guy actually holding it, if you ever do see a picture of somebody holding his head, yeah, there is a picture of somebody holding his head. But that guy turns out to be a CIA asset. But
who, Jesse Jackson?
No, not Jesse. Jesse Jackson's a whole other animal, which God, I should really delve back and refresh my memory on that, but I had a whole thing on him, God, back in when I first started my YouTube channel, and somebody asked me something about Martin Luther King, and I went off on a tangent about Jesse Jackson and how full of crap he was, and where his money comes from, and how the Rainbow Coalition had been funded and all that. Mm-hmm. And I completely, immediately got complaints, and this is back when they would just give you complaints about your YouTube video, and it would go down. Within 12 views of that video had to come down for being abusive or something like that. And this is back, I want to say 2008 or 9. But I went into this whole thing about it, and it really pissed people off. Really did.
Well, there's always something that's going to piss somebody off.
Yeah, well, you know.
It's just the way of the world.
Absolutely. But
and I'm good with that. Really.
I got you. The guy who's actually cradling his head, though, and I'm trying to remember his name right now, but it turns out that he did work for the CIA. He was actually involved there in Memphis with a Black Panther type group, which was called the Invaders, and was there like working with King and his people under false pretenses. So that's the guy who was actually cradling Martin Luther King's head while he was dying there on the balcony there of the Lorraine Motel. But Jesse Jackson for years and years, you know, would kind of whip up crowds by pretty much saying, you know, and I was cradling Dr. King when he died. He was there.
Right. No, I know he was there, but I didn't know he said he was cradling his head.
Yeah, well, just like Abernathy, too. I mean, Abernathy was there, Ralph Abernathy, and he made a really weird statement in front of like a big gathering in the city of Memphis, too, some years back, talking about how he had to step aside so that the assassin could shoot King. It was a really weird kind of Freudian slip in the middle of like relating the whole thing about the day King was killed. So, yeah, and I contend there was plenty of insiders that made sure he was in the right position. You know, nobody's ever been able to explain when and where the phone call came. See, initially he was going to stay at a different motel. A lot of people don't know that. And the motel that he would have stayed at, he would have been, you know, really hard for an assassin to get to. Mm-hmm. But interestingly enough, somebody called the husband of the woman named Lorraine. Oh, wait, let me back up a moment. First, they called like his team of people that he would normally hang with when he came to Tennessee, right? And this includes a whole lot of, you know, semi-notable black activists of the day, and we're talking 1968 here. Christian black activists of the day, mostly. They worked with others, you know, like...
Well, most black people were Baptist.
Well, yeah, Christian, Baptist, same thing.
Oh, well, I always associate Christian with Catholic.
Well, Christian and Catholics are also Christian. Although that'll piss some people off that I just said that, but that they are.
Well, see, I don't know, because I don't practice any of that.
Yeah.
I don't.
I had to study that stuff.
Organized religion is evil, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Rock Against Organized Religion. Roar. It's the name of a coalition of musicians back in the late 80s, early 90s. Another story. Anyway, back to the thing about him going to Memphis, right? Mm. So a strange phone call was made to the people that would make the arrangements for King, giving him all kinds of crap about, you're going and you're staying at a white motel instead of staying at a nice black establishment like the Lorraine Motel. Then there was stuff printed in the local newspapers with the same kind of rhetoric in it regarding, how King was being an Uncle Tom, kind of making these sort of suggestions. And you don't believe me, go check the Memphis paper archives around that time. I think there was actually 2 papers in Memphis, and I can't recall their names, but trust me, it's there. Mm-hmm. You can find it if you look hard enough. And the thing is, they stated that pretty much he was being a sellout, like I said, by going to a white-owned motel. So the Lorraine Motel is a nicer place. Then, after he switches and goes and gets a room at the Lorraine Motel, then a call goes to the husband of the woman. There was actually a woman named Lorraine that the motel is named after. And a phone call goes to the husband demanding that Dr. King needs a better room. Now, in the room where he was previous to that, there was no balcony. There was no exposure to these other buildings. There was, a sniper, okay, any type of assassin who was going to be from a sniper position would have had to have been on the roof of the Lorraine Motel or in a helicopter pretty much to get at him right outside of his hotel room door. But they demanded that he be moved to A, an upper floor, and B, to another room for access or whatever excuse there was. But here's the thing, nobody in King's organization has ever taken responsibility for making that phone call. I don't believe all of them on everything they say, but I tend to believe them that they were awestruck by the idea that somebody asked that he be moved to another room. Mm-hmm. So of course he's in a perfect position there where I'm pretty sure he was shot and killed from somebody who was partially obscured by Jim's grill. I'm very sure of that. Those that think that the rooming house bathroom was a logical perch for the sniper never examined the photographic evidence regarding the way that bathroom was laid out. You would have had to have been a contortionist, and a sharpshooter to pull that one off. Of course, just like Oswald would have needed to have been in a kneeling position, leaning on a box.
Well, didn't they blow off part of Martin Luther King's tie?
No, you're thinking of Kennedy.
No, I thought it was Martin Luther King too.
No,
Where was he hit?
King was shot in the face.
Ew.
Yeah, they hit him straight in the face. The bullet actually went around his jaw, and it's a whole not pretty at all.
I'm sure that was a mess to clean up.
Now, the whole thing with the tie is that's a JFK problem because people have been arguing for years because we can see the tie at the National Archives. If you ask to see it and you make the right appointment, you can go see it. And there is a notch in the tie. The notch in the tie, though, I know what it's from, and it's from talking to the Parkland doctors. I learned that they were cutting off his clothes, which is why his clothes were in the condition they were in. Mm-hmm. And one of the things they almost did was cut the tie off. Oh. But the nurse who had the pair of scissors on there was actually stopped, which is why the tie is not completely cut through. It's got nothing to do with a bullet.
Oh. All right.
He was shot in the throat, though, and a lot of people have made the, the analogy that it's about where the knot of a tie would go, and it is. But the thing is, with a tailored sort of tie and that slouch that he had and everything else, mm-hmm. you have an exposed area where the knot of the tie would be had he had, really good posture and stuff.
Right.
So that's what the problem is there.
All right.
God, how did I get off on this subject?
I don't know. I just let you talk because it's your show. Mine's next.
And I'm going to have to let you talk. And thank God for Kim because I would not have known what I would have done with the past, little while with you guys.
Well, after Francis had his meltdown, he fell asleep, so...
Yeah, he was having a meltdown, wasn't he?
Come in.
Dear God, what was going on?
Who knows?
I mean, was he drooling a lot?
No, I think he was tired and getting... just pissed off.
Yeah, well.
Whatever.
He's got a bit of a temper.
He's his mother's son. What do you want me to tell you?
Oh. See, and this is where I have to really carefully think about what I'm saying instead of babbling on like I usually do on the radio, because
no.
I don't want to pay for it later.
Let it rip, baby.
Well, no.
I want to reverse gears and go somewhere else.
Okay.
Well, I want to talk about this on my show later, because maybe some people in the chat room will help me wrap my brain around some things. But what's going on with the senators or congressmen wanting to open up the 9/11 Commission reports again? Because who are they saying funded? They want Obama to declassify, like, I think it was either 36 or 39 pages of the commission report, because who were they? The Saudis funded the 9/11.
Yeah, well, the problem with that is that good God, the Saudis, and on the other hand, the Israelis too. The Israelis would have something to do with that funding channel. And here's what the dirty problem with that is, is that if you do trace it directly to the Saudis, which would make a whole lot of sense, regarding the alleged funding of these, these 19 patsies. I mean, I don't know what they are, but they were mostly Saudis.
Just look at the chat room a second. Jack Daniels for teething. Yes, we've done that. In fact, we did it earlier.
Yeah. No, I do put the whiskey on his gums for the teething, but doesn't always work out.
Right. Anywho.
And he gets really pissed off at that to start with too. By the way,
he'll get used to it.
But no, but thank you for the suggestion. Any other suggestions? Believe me, I'll be happy to take them. But
put him in the room and let him cry.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was me. So what is about that? What?
Oh well, the dirty problem is, of course. Look, for those who don't have an idea what's really going on, the Saudis could easily be tied to the Bushes, which easily means the Saudis are tied to American interests. So Saudi funding is a problem. But, see, I question it because the alleged 20th hijacker, this Zacharias Moussaoui, also says the same thing, reportedly, at this point in time. But I look at him and I think of the old Sesame Street game, which one of these things doesn't go with the other? Because he's a Nigerian, I think. He's a black dude, which none of the other...
little bald dude.
Yeah, and he's bald. I mean, he totally does not fit with the rest of the other 19 patsies. I mean, useful idiots. I mean, guys with box cutters, whatever they are. He doesn't even fit with those guys. So how does he become the 20th anything?
Well, I'm not sure, but do you think they'll declassify this information?
Well, if they do, it's. See, I'm wondering why they withheld it in the first place. It's got to do with funding. It doesn't actually. And there was a couple of people coming out immediately making statements too. I saw this really quickly that they were saying that nothing of significance is in there. And, the reality is, even if they declassify these allegedly classified, hidden pages, they're still not really stepping up to the plate regarding putting out the documentation, because nobody wants to get to the bottom of this. Nobody wants to get to the bottom of it. I was talking to somebody off the air a couple of days ago, and they were explaining to me, because, we were talking about the great strides that we had made regarding a lot of other things, the Gulf of Tonkin incident, the Vietnam War, the first Desert Storm, a lot of the stuff that we've sort of unearthed that the government really didn't want us to get our hands on. MK Ultra, all these victories.
That's some scary stuff right there.
Oh, right. And I was saying I'm trying to organize something with H.P. Albarelli to do the Frank Olson story. On one of these shows. But regardless of all the successes we've had, unearthing this stuff many, many years later, right? 9/11 is still too new. If you put it into the context of that kind of stuff regarding the real conspiracies, regarding the real rabbit trails that you need to go down to understand the reality of the great catastrophic event, right?
Well, is there anything that is sealed as long as, like, the Kennedy assassination?
Mm-hmm.
What, 50 years or something like that?
Well, okay, there's a minor misunderstanding about that. There was the National Archives had a policy which said that for, I think it was 50 years, things, documents would be sealed anyway.
Mm-hmm.
There needed to be an exception made for stuff that was not meant to be disseminated to the public.
But why, if they didn't do anything wrong, why are they sealed?
Well, see, that's always been my contention, is that, if Lee Harvey Oswald is the single lone nut, and everybody that I have talked to, many, many, many more intelligent people than myself, that have done mountains of research.
Mm-hmm.
My stuff is all over the map. I'm sort of a jack of all trades, but I mean, people who really literally focused years and years of their lives on particular areas. Okay? All of us being crazy. Okay, all of us being just wishful thinkers of one sort or another. If that's the truth, if Oswald is the answer here regarding the JFK assassination, then there is absolutely no reason to withhold one piece of paper about this man.
There shouldn't be anything to hide.
You can't see his tax records. You can't see a file called What Lee Harvey Oswald Knew About the U-2 Spy Plane, as if U-2 spy planes were still relevant. The national security, different agency reports, the many, many missing things out of the 302 file, which is his personnel file with the agency, an obvious lacking of the description of a debriefing when he returned from the Soviet Union. All of these things which have been deep-sixed, disappeared, or are otherwise classified for the purposes of national security make absolutely no sense.
Mm-hmm.
If he was just a loose cannon and we missed him, show us the proof, and that's the end of it.
Well, right. And if our government had nothing to do with 9/11, then there shouldn't be anything that they're keeping classified also.
Well, right, but they had to learn from their mistakes. I mean, you realize that the 9/11 Commission report...
But they don't learn from their mistakes because history continues to repeat itself.
Oh, but they did learn from their mistakes. I'm going to tell you why. The 9/11 Commission report had to be, the only reason why it was published in the form it was is because they, they all had to unanimously agree, those that were sitting atop the commission, right?
Right.
So, have they ever recreated the shot and had people try it? Captain Gringo asked that question. Have they ever recreated the shot and had people try it? Yes, they absolutely have in various forms.
Jesse Ventura even did it.
Jesse Ventura tried it, but, I mean, the only guy that was able to perform exactly as the commission reported it, to my knowledge, was a guy named Howard Donahue. Okay? He actually did it for CBS in 1968, except that he was shooting at a target moving on a track. But the same distance, the same type of weapon, and he did not do it in one try, by the way.
Do you have an ashtray over there?
Okay, yeah, I do. So that did actually happen. There have been many attempts to recreate it, though, and many, many, many failures by people who are supposed to be expert marksmen, which is really, really odd.
Well, I know your big thing is the JFK. That's your line of expertise. But I have to tell you, the more and more I watch the documentaries on 9/11, the more pissed off I get. Probably because at that time I lived right across the bay and could smell everything coming over from the city.
It's more personal.
I was older, and it was just horrifying to me to think of these people in those buildings that were stuck and trapped and jumping out, and you get caught up in that game. And then when you're not totally shocked and appalled and crying and everything else, and you sit and you watch it again and you watch it again, there's always something that you find that you didn't see the first time or the second time. And I almost have to stop watching it because it makes me more angry. And I can't figure out what it is that people don't see that those buildings came down in a controlled demolition. I can't understand why people don't see that. I mean, our people, obviously in the chat room and people who do what we do understand it, but the general public, the people who just keep their head down and follow the rules and, don't want to question authority and don't want to buck the system, how do you not see what's going on?
Well, it's a nice comfort zone to blame those damn towel heads,
Well, that was a big thing. I mean, people had bumper stickers that said, a towel is not a hat. And actually that cracked me up out loud when I saw it. But it was true at that time. People, they achieved what they set out to achieve, which was to terrorize the American people to get us to go over to Iraq.
Well, trauma-based programming. I mean,
yeah.
But it was also very convenient to seize upon, already prejudiced individuals in this country as well. I mean, I don't know how many of them you saw, but I saw plenty of these, Arab hunting permits, posted in the backs of pickups and stuff like that. It was all rather convenient. And the reason why I focus on the JFK thing is that without decapitating the government, without what I contend to have been a coup d'etat against, the last semblance of our democratically elected, representatives as they were, without that, it changed the course of the nation. It really did. Leading us into Vietnam left us limping afterwards. Your Desert Storm support all came out of post-Vietnam guilt syndrome, from a psychological standpoint. And, again, it was still a good thing to go beat up on Iraq one more time, even though there was no plausible reason to do so.
Well, in my opinion, I think he was the last president that really wasn't a complete puppet. That's my opinion.
Well, yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it as well.
It's a shame. But history does repeat itself. I mean, we were watching something about how they wanted to do some sort of test run in Cuba.
Oh, yeah, Operation Northwoods, yeah.
Right, and then we're watching the same thing on, what's Avery Dillon's documentary, Loose Change?
Yeah, Dylan Avery, Loose Change, yep.
Yeah, they were showing different, what's the word I'm looking for? Scenarios of the airplane hitting the towers, of an airplane hitting the Pentagon. And then, woo, it happens. I don't know. Is there any country in this world that you can go to that is not completely corrupt?
Oh, Road Dogg, I'd love to hear how JFK was a traitor. Somebody explain that one to me. Oh, buddy.
No. Now you're going to set him off, and my show is going to be bad. Thanks.
What would come of it tomorrow?
Dog.
We would actually have the reality behind,
Well, I'm curious, Mr. Road Dogg. Who do you think is a good president if you think JFK was a traitor?
All of Congress should be
Are you a Bush fan? Are you an Obama fan? Are you a Clinton fan? Are you a Bush Senior fan? Reagan?
I'm looking at all of Congress should be hung.
How about Carter?
So.
Which would be your favorite?
Oh, God, don't get him started there.
Just curious.
Oh, man.
All I know, and I know he is responsible for a lot of what's going on, like with the Bush administration, but I got to tell you, my life was perfect when Clinton was president. I had money in my pocket. I had a great job. I could afford to buy whatever I wanted without looking at a price tag. And then all of a sudden, it was gone. Oh, we have dancing Israelis at the JFK assassination. Oh, holy shit. There we go.
Well, Bon Jovi, if you can show me dancing Israelis at the JFK assassination...
I'm just going to say, Mr. Bon Jovi, you need to dance to the beat of your own drum. Stop following the numbers.
They were there, man.
Wow. Were they the same ones?
What's your number? You want to call in?
Call it in. 718-717-8296. Bring it on.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have myself a very, very large Budweiser here. So come on.
Captain Gringo gave me the number
Let's go.
afterwards.
Call it now, Mr. Road Dog. Bring it on.
Yeah. All right, cool. Come on. I'm not seeing any calls come up.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Where is it?
The rabbit hole gets deep. You know what? If you're going to try and tell me about the Mossad connections, no good.
I saw chemtrails today in Kinston, North Carolina. Forget Bonanza.
Oh, yeah, well,
It was terrible.
raid for humans overhead everywhere.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know anybody who bothers to look up at the sky that doesn't see them.
Oh, but it's just contrails. You know that.
Captain Gringo, time traveling dancing Israelis.
Oh, we had the younger dancing Israelis back in JFK.
No, time traveling. They would have had to.
Dalnick said they were younger. What happened to that pack of cigarettes I just dropped? Oh, sorry. They were younger. They were the grandfathers. The ones we have now are
absolutely
are the grandsons or the great grandsons.
You know, I had to bite my tongue the other day when somebody was trying to explain to me how Meyer Lansky would have played a role in it. You know, maybe, possibly, because mob elements did work with the agency.
The phone can't possibly be busy.
718-717-8296, Road Dog.
Who's 5161? Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So, man, it's time-traveling dancing Israelis. Are you kidding me?
Can you imagine? Maybe they're not really people. Maybe they're some kind of, like, robots.
Maybe somebody thinks that the Stephen King book is an actual thing.
I like Stephen King.
Yeah, I know, but did you see the JFK book he wrote?
No.
All right. Time travel and the JFK assassination in a book. Yes. Oh, we might actually have a phone call. Let's see.
There he is. Is it Mr. Road?
Is this Road Dog?
Hello?
Hey! I'm still hearing me in the background, brother.
Hey, I can't hear you.
Turn off your radio.
Turn off your radio a sec.
It's muted.
Oh, cool. Can you hear me now?
Who am I talking to?
This is Chuck Ochelli.
Hey, Chuck, how the fuck are you?
How the fuck are you? Is this Road Dog?
Yes.
Oh, thank you for calling in, sir. You know what? Before you say a single word, I want to say this. You have balls. No matter what you say, no matter what you insult me with, I'm going to be happy that you had balls, you were listening, and you called. Thank you.
Well, it has nothing to do with you or anybody else. It has to do with history.
Okay.
JFK signed the first UN treaty for gun control in 1961, and that's where he should have been killed, right then and there. He was a traitor.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, that document has only recently come to my attention, right?
Well, it's been known for decades.
You know, and that is exactly what the person who brought it to my attention told me. And I don't know what to say about it, except that there were a lot of things going on at that point in time. And the reason why I don't count him as a traitor is because he wasn't going to involve us in the invasion of Cuba, which a lot of people wanted. And he wasn't...
Well, who gives a fuck about Cuba? The whole issue at the time in 1961 is he signed that treaty on gun control.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole issue.
I understand what you're saying.
Well, then, you know what? You and Kim shouldn't be calling me fucking a fuck.
I didn't
because
call you a
I'm
fuck.
telling you the truth.
I just asked you what president you liked. That's all.
I hate all of them. They're all douchebag Jews.
That's the answer I was looking for, Road Dog. Thank you.
Well, it's not that hard to figure out.
Not really. But you do have the view that you do have some that say, oh, well, you know, Clinton was a great president. I mean, I got to tell you, my pocketbook was full when he was president. Was he a great president? No.
Well, who gives a fuck about a president? I don't need no goddamn president.
None of us
Fuck
do.
'em.
None of us do. Not a single one of
But
us do.
Don't stand there and put a president on a pedestal when they're all douchebags.
You know what? As much as he might have been a douchebag, I still say that you can't argue with the fact that he wasn't going to involve us in certain wars that we wound up,
Well,
being
fuck
involved
all
in.
the wars. You know where they start at? They start at the banks. And Congress and the president follows along with it because who runs the banks? Jews.
Well, here's what the problem is, though, is that Kennedy was actually doing battle with the banks.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was, and it had nothing to do with the silver certificates either.
My God, fucking JFK was just as big a fucking douchebag as fucking Obama.
Oh, come on, man. Really?
Yes.
Okay, so going back in our history, did we have anybody who stood in the executive branch that you admire at all, that you thought was doing a good job or was trying to do the right thing for the country?
They're all have been traitors since the fucking 9 presidents before George Washington.
You're talking about the continental presidents?
Yes, all of them were traitors before George Washington. 9 of them.
Okay.
Now, catch up to today.
Well, I'm just curious if there was a point in this
They
history
all
where...
listen, all they ever did was pass on the baton to the next one.
I see. And you include Andrew Jackson in that as well?
Fuck him and fuck them all.
The only president to ever pay off our debt, okay, and turn around and not agree to up the charter, and not agree to up the charter of the central bank. Now, if you don't know that, come on, man, you're telling me I'm wrong there too.
Don't start talking to me about debt.
That was the last time. That was the last time.
I'm on the floor rolling.
That was the last time that this country had its national debt paid off.
Fuck, Clinton even said he thought he did it too, but
no, Clinton didn't do it. Clinton balanced the budget. There's a difference between that and paying off the national debt. But also, he did not
Chuck,
bring
man,
about...
You are cracking me up now. I'm going to have to hang up because you're just too funny.
All right, man. All right, look. If I'm funny, that's cool. But check and see if Andrew Jackson...
But, hey, listen, here's a clue. JFK was a traitor, okay? And all you got to do is do a little research, and you'll see it.
Go ahead.
Well, they're all traitors. Every single one of them.
And that's it.
Well, what else more do you need to know? I mean, come on. Jesus.
No, I'm just letting you say your piece, man. I want to make sure you got it out. I don't ever want anybody to say, oh, he cut me off and he didn't let me say what I wanted to say, or he was being a dick to me. I don't do that. So I want to make sure you get to say what you want.
Have I been being a dick to you? No.
No, absolutely not. I just want to make sure that doesn't happen. So that's why I'm saying...
Well, I mean, who gives a fuck if it does?
I do, because I don't like treating people that way.
Well, I don't like it either.
There you go. So
how about we have a drink and call it a good night? I'm going to get another one. I'll be right back.
All right.
Well, drink up, Kim.
I am. Be right back.
There you go.
Okay, well, you people have a good night. I just had to call in because you're very uninformed about JFK.
All right. Well, says you, but okay. That's
Good
your opinion,
enough.
brother. That's your opinion, brother. I let you speak it, and can't say I didn't. So, there you go.
All right. Okay.
All right, you have a good night. All right. So there you go. Anybody else wanna say whatever it is you gotta say? Go ahead, hit me for it. But we don't realize that Andrew Jackson was the last president to pay off the national debt. Okay, that's nonsense, and they've all been traitors. All right, that's cool.
There goes the speaker.
That's all right. Don't even worry about that. That's all fine and dandy, and I realize that gun control is a big issue, but control nation money, and care not who are. Yep. Right. I was talking about that quote on a Tuesday show like last week, I think, about the money and everything. Yeah.
Well, there shouldn't be all this stuff on the chair.
Well, I didn't expect you to come and sit on the chair.
I can go in the other room and watch TV.
Oh, yeah, you could.
But I won't.
Thank you. So what do you think about that one, huh?
Thank you, Rode.
Yes, thank you for calling in.
Everybody has their opinion. That's what makes these conversations good, because if everybody just said, oh yeah, it'd be kind of freaking boring, don't you think?
Why does Captain Gringo ask him about Jews? Who? Who am I supposed to ask about Jews? Or was I supposed to be asked about Jews? Yeah, call him the kid. Chuck is right.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to be talking about this on my show, so if you want to call in, please do, because no one does.
Yeah, no problem. You can call in on either show tonight. We have we do have proof that the phone line is open. So there. And again, I don't cut anybody off. I let him say what he wants to say. I disagree with him, but I let him say what he wants to say.
Well, that's the beauty of free speech. You can say what you want. Uh-oh.
Well, that happens because of the damn pop-up window. Sorry. Oh. Okay, well, we're eradicating all the Native Americans.
I think it would be great if we didn't have a government. I can take care of myself. I don't need a government to tell me how to do things and what not to do. And that would be great. But unfortunately, there aren't enough people like us around that
and yes, I'm aware
they would be able to survive without a government.
And yes, I'm aware that Andrew Jackson was a genocidal murderer. Okay, I get that. But when we're talking about dealing with the banks, he wasn't exactly too friendly with them. That's all. That's all I had to say about that. Okay? Anyway.
I'm sorry, I just read what 5161 wrote. Wow.
Okay, well, what can I say?
Well, you got to give Rode a little credit. He's got a lot of ink.
Now, look, I don't.
So it's good. He doesn't wear jewelry.
Jewelry. Yeah, I know. And I'm quite aware that I'd probably gain myself a couple of fans in the chat room if all I did was scream about the evil, evil Jews. But I think that the Jews are just one part of the evil equation.
Well, I worked for one. Here's a funny thing. One time I wanted to see how bad it really was, so I crazy glued a quarter to the floor. And I wanted to see how long it would take for him to pick it up off the floor.
Oh, God.
Well, he did. It took him about 15 minutes, but he got it.
That's like John Barber telling that story, which might get replayed on one of the shows coming up soon. Jules said that she might start replaying some of my shows on Monday. So, not the current ones, but some of the old ones where I did something, that really isn't time sensitive. So,
is that our dog barking? Or is that the pit bull next door?
I don't know if that's the pit bull or if that's Alice.
No.
I don't know.
Right.
Anyway.
He kicked that quarter off the floor. He tried kicking it. He tried picking it up with his hand. I was cracking up quietly.
Oh, yeah. Well, what I was saying is John Barber told that story about Red Fox. Did you hear that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you didn't hear the story he told about Red Fox that didn't make it to air when he had him on a TV show?
Oh, I may have.
He said, well, you know why money's green, don't you?
Yeah.
And he said, because the Jews pick it before it's ripe.
Oh, shit. Really?
That's what Red Fox said, and it didn't make it to air on John Barber's TV show.
He's funny.
Yeah, Red Fox. Red Fox
I like
was
watching him on Sanford and Son. It cracks me up.
Yeah, but, sadly, are we going to get into this again?
Maybe on my show.
Why don't we get into the black television shows again? Because I like those shows. Oh, man. You ever notice, though, that it's always like, Oh, well, gee, I'm going to get into Jews run the Hollywood thing, right?
Well, they do, but
yeah, they do.
it's all right.
They used to run all the newspapers.
Cujo is a Stephen King book.
Do they run the internet now? Cujo?
Yes.
What's a Cujo?
It's a
Indian
like,
dog.
isn't it like a rabid evil dog or something like that? It's a Stephen King book.
Yeah, I liked Red Fox, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, there isn't really the other thing too I want to talk about. Well, we'll do it on your show because you're more serious than I am. With this vaccination thing, how they're going to try to make it law. I'm sorry, but I'm going to build a cave somewhere and live in it because I am not vaccinating our son. His eyes are bright and shiny, and he's aware. First of all, I don't think the government has any right to tell me what I should and shouldn't put in my child's body. Number one, you don't own my kid. I own my kid.
Well, that's the weird thing is then they tell you, well, it's a public safety issue because now you're exposing them. You're having these kids that are unvaccinated.
That's a bunch of shit. But because you're going to tell me that a child that has not been vaccinated for measles and doesn't have measles gave measles to somebody who was vaccinated, and now they have measles. I'm sorry. What?
In that case, why take the risk of vaccinating them? But they're logical absurdities. Why break them up?
It's retarded.
If you're vaccinated against disease X, and I have disease X, you should be okay.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I tell that story all the time about the Hep B. When they wanted to give him that before he even got out of the hospital door.
Oh, hell no. My infant son is not having unprotected sex, and I'm not allowing him to get a tattoo till he's at least 15.
Yeah, well, he's not shooting dope, he's not screwing anybody, and he's not getting tattooed, so therefore, where's he getting his Hep B from? That's pretty much what I asked the pediatrician. You were there, right?
Yeah, well, I had just given birth, so you got to forgive me for not being on the ball.
But no, this was like the next day or two, wasn't it? Dr. Diamond, right?
Yeah, but still. I didn't recover in 2 hours.
No, I know that. I'm not... Please, I can't even begin to... Hell, I didn't recover in 2 hours. All right. Anyway. No, but I mean, this whole thing that's going on now is just completely ridiculous.
Well, I can't believe... It just seems to me that... Like, where we used to live, they had a senator's daughter, I think, was riding her bicycle, and she fell, and she had, gotten a severe head injury. So all of a sudden, we have to pass a law that all the kids under 17 have to ride a bike. When they ride a bike, they have to wear a helmet. I never wore a helmet when I was a kid. Now all of a sudden, it's a law, and the parents will get a ticket if the kid isn't wearing a helmet. I don't need the government to protect me. You know what I mean? I'm plenty capable of taking care of myself without their rules governing me what to do and not to do.
Yeah, and isn't that what it's all about at the end of the day?
Well, I mean, when is it going to be that we can't drive after dark? Well, how long is that going to take? You need to be in your house before it gets dark out. You can't leave your house until the sun comes out.
Well, there's they put curfews in and out of place.
I do realize that there's a thing in the Jewish religion. However, I'm not Jewish, so I like to come and go as I please.
Why did you have to go and bring up the Jews?
Because I know that that's the thing. Because I remember coming home from work and it was like Yom Kippur or some shit like that, and they would run you off the road to get home in time before the sun got down.
Oh, see, I lived in Lakewood.
Yeah.
Lakewood,
the Hasidic
New Jersey.
Jews, boy, there's some creepy looking people.
It was a Hasidic. It was a weird community because it was a black community that was very slowly gentrified into a Hasidic Jewish community. It's the weirdest thing I ever saw. But I lived right across the street from I think they called it a mikveh or something like that, which is a bathhouse where these guys go, like on Fridays, I guess. I don't know. All I know is that every Friday the whole road was, completely jammed, that I lived on. And I had to walk. I mean, I walked anyway. But It was the weirdest thing to watch that happen. And then, of course, all the way until, sunset on Saturday or whatever, you wouldn't see a single one on the street.
That was the time you could get out and drive safely.
Yeah.
They weren't going to run you off the road. It's true.
Oh, yeah, I know it.
I don't even think I went to work that day because I was afraid for my life trying to get home.
I had a friend that used to go to, because there was the shop right there in Lakewood, and which is a grocery store for those of you in other parts of the country.
Well, I see people seem to be enjoying some beverages in the chat room. I'm a little curious as to what it is they're enjoying this evening. Somebody's having a triple, and somebody's bellying on up to the bar. Dolnick.
Look at how my show has turned into Kim's show now.
Oh, sorry. All right, I'll be quiet.
No, don't be quiet. I mean, I'm just saying.
I'll sit here and
here we go. What are you drinking?
I'll be completely twisted when it's time for my show.
And I've got the bottle of whiskey sitting next to me.
Yeah, I haven't heard it open.
I don't.
Oh, you wait for my show for that. Oh, I see. Yeah. I see how it works. All right.
If I'm gonna, spew drunken nonsense.
Mention gay bathhouse. What about the gay bathhouse?
I didn't say gay bathhouse.
Not you.
It's a Jewish bathhouse.
Captain Gringo. Captain.
Oh, mention gay bathhouse and Geo shows up.
Captain's having some tequila. Oh. That's some wicked, wicked stuff.
Tequila.
Does anybody else have the same problem I have? If you've gotten sick off of something and you smell it again, does it make your stomach twirl? Like Sambuca? Oh, my God.
If that was the case, I couldn't drink any alcohol anymore.
But you don't get sick.
But I used to.
Oh.
You got to remember, there was a point at which, like I told you, I mean, beer was... I drank more beer. You know what I usually drink during the day now, but I drank beer more than I drink that. And it was a constant. So I would go to play shows or whatever, and sometimes I'd need to clear my throat, especially because I don't know why, but I would develop this kind of coating in my throat and on my tongue from the beer.
It's called a loose hair.
Different coating.
Whoops.
Different strokes for different folks.
What's that show? It's a Jewish show. Forgive me, I'm going to bring it up.
Oh, here we go with the Jewish
Oh, my
stuff
God.
again.
Curb Your Enthusiasm when he got the pubic hair stuck in his throat. Remember that one?
I never saw that show.
I fell out of the couch when I was watching that show. That was funny.
I never saw that show.
Oh my God.
I couldn't.
I found it hysterical.
That Seinfeld. No, none of that stuff. Cartoons. Sorry.
Cartoons. They don't talk about wild pubic hairs stuck in the throat on cartoons.
Some of them do.
You know what? I have to go get my cigarettes. So, find out what other people are drinking. Let's see. I think Road Dogg's having a
Well, I saw tequila. I saw pineapple.
Captain's having a tequila. What's this that I'm drinking? A 16-ounce Budweiser.
Well, right now you're drinking beer, yeah?
It's quite tasty.
I don't know. Dries out my throat a bit, so that's why I used to have
Budweiser or
beer in general. Beer in general. That doesn't dry out one's throat, but it gives you that continuous...
That little tickle. That's why. Never mind. We'll save that for my show. From Liam Sheff's show.
What, we're going to go into the whole... The reason why I prefer bald pie. Is this what we're going to go to?
I would recommend not putting this show on SoundCloud because it's not... Because I'm on it.
Oh, boy. Yeah, well, I don't even know if I'm going to maintain the SoundCloud account. I do have one, by the way. If you go on there, you can download a lot of the earlier shows and some music and some other stuff. And as a matter of fact, even I cut some UCY IDs recently. Have a wine cooler. Captain Gringo says, have a wine cooler. What am I, a 16-year-old chick from Jersey? No. Why don't you have a Zima, Cap? How about that? Not my style. Sorry. Anyway, so I would have to drink something else to get the coating out of my throat before I went to sing. So quite often I would have some other mixed drink, usually something like, I would start out slow with something like a Red Death, a pitcher of those, and by the time I went on stage, I'd probably start shooting, either shots of Jack or Southern Comfort. If I, wasn't feeling particularly strong that day, Southern Comfort goes down a lot easier than Jack straight. And that's what I would do to kind of kill the coating in my throat and therefore get that wonderful, wonderful heavy-ass sound, depending on whether I was doing punk or, metal stuff or occasionally blues. I would get the sound that I wanted.
Live shaving. Oh, no, honey. I get that crap waxed.
Chuck and Kim should do a live shaving. That's a freaking hysterical suggestion, Hooper.
Yeah, well.
What
about that?
Anyway. What's your thoughts?
On what? A live shaving?
Live shaving.
I don't know, but I haven't drank enough yet to answer that question.
But you don't need me for that show. Okay. See, but no, because I don't shave you. And besides that, is that going to be any fun without a webcam? Really?
We have a webcam.
Yeah, but we can't broadcast it to them.
That's true.
What are we going to do? Set up a live stream on YouTube for it?
Ew, God, no.
Well, there you go.
Huh, that would be weird. Anyway. Sorry, your show's turned weird. I walk in the room, it turns weird.
What can I do? It was supposed to be a typical night with Suzanne Posel. Oh man, you almost did the
What? The what?
It sounded like something out of a Family Guy episode I saw recently. That's all.
What?
The little laugh you just did.
Oh, I haven't gotten to the naughty lab yet.
Yeah, I know.
I'm only on my first beer.
That's not your first beer.
Second. Nope, third. Sorry. Let's count.
Losing count.
Put a piece of paper up so I can...
Losing count is a sign that it is not your first
Think of
beer.
Frankie's college fund. Why, are you people going to pay? You going to donate if you see that? If you donate to my son's college fund, I may have to reconsider my ideas.
Well, that is an interesting point. And I told a couple of people this before, that if they were willing to donate the money to do some of the crazy stuff that they wanted done, different investigations, those suggestions I've gotten about, well, why don't you go here and do this, and why don't you find out about that, and it all costs money. And I've said, look, if you're willing to pay for it, you buy, I'll fly.
Where are you flying?
To wherever. If they want me to go...
Can I come? You don't want me there, never mind.
Only if you're going to help.
Only if you're quiet.
Some of the places that they were talking about,
No, Hopper, my first beer is only a 12-ounce.
Yeah, that was the bottle, right?
Oh, Rose going to pay for porn shows. It's going to be expensive. You don't know what... never mind.
And here's where... I actually don't know what to say.
Here's where it turns around. Anywho.
Here's where it all gets really, really strange.
My God, and we got what?
We only got 10 minutes left of my massacre of a show. And,
it was fun.
And then we're going to have to move on to yours.
Gee, hopefully they stick around. We'll go and turn off the radio. Or the computer, rather.
Yeah, well.
What?
What can I say? And for anybody who has tuned in, you have been listening to the Ochelli Effect, strangely enough. This is the busted planning session of the show. Doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while it does happen where we don't necessarily have technical issues. I'm still not sure why Suzanne didn't join me, but hey, I'll reschedule. There were people at the beginning saying that they were glad she didn't show up, but okay, fine. Then you get extemporaneous madness, me playing pieces of audio from different videos.
And then I walk in.
Discussions of live shaving ensue, and what alcohol are you drinking? So, you never know what you're going to get,
See why you don't plan? There is the prime example why I don't plan a damn thing.
See, now we could go into a serious discussion about that on your show if you want.
We certainly will.
The fact that I like to try and plan things, and you absolutely refuse to. So,
because it makes it much easier. It makes it much easier. If you didn't plan something, right, and something was supposed to happen, but you didn't really plan on it, and it doesn't work out, you can switch gears real simple.
That's why you plan in layers.
No, I don't plan at all.
Yeah, but if you plan in layers,
that's too
then you always
fucking
have to back
complicated.
up. Okay.
It's too complicated.
I know I can't begin to battle this with you. So.
No. Because you can see how many times have I not planned something and been able to figure it out anyway. Right? I'm magic that way. I'm cool like that. I roll that way.
You're cool like that. You roll that way. Oh, you know, you use phrases like that. One phrase I wish you would stop using is no doubt.
No doubt?
No doubt.
Why? Everybody says that.
Ugh. I don't know why it makes me cringe.
Why?
It just does.
All these years and you say that now? That's weird.
It has always made me cringe
it's true.
when you
It's
said
like
it.
no doubt.
I thought of it because
it
had been.
You.
I know, but it had been a while since I heard you use that phrase.
So do you want me to say, "Oh, baby, I believe you," instead of "no doubt"? No doubt's easier.
There's 100 different phrases you could use. I mean, I'm exaggerating, obviously, but I mean, there's plenty of different other phrases.
Like what?
You ain't lying.
But I don't use the word ain't.
Okay. You got that right.
That takes too much time.
Right on.
What am I, Jimmy Walker?
See, now we're going to descend back into good times.
Because I was watching it today, that's why.
Ah.
I looked at the TV and I said, "Ooh, it's 9 o'clock, it's on."
Oh. Yeah, you did.
I did. No doubt, hon. I did.
No doubt. Okay.
Oh, if I can't play with you, who can I play with?
Look, I have absolutely, and I say this before that show begins, I have absolutely no control of what goes on over Kim's show. I just want everybody to know that. I'm a somewhat willing accomplice.
Road Dog has a suggestion. He said, just say whatever. That's true. I can just say whatever.
Yeah, well,
but then it sounds like I don't care.
But that's multi-purpose. That's multifaceted
that can mean whatever.
right there. Yeah.
See? Whatever.
Whatever means whatever.
That'll work.
Whatever.
Can't help it.
Whatever.
I'm stuck in my... The one word I can't stand. Chillax. What the hell is that? What's that?
I don't know anybody who actually says that.
It's like the younger kids now. Oh, I'm just chillaxing.
Do they actually say that?
Huh?
Do they actually say that? Or
yeah, they actually say it. I'm just, come on over and chillax. It's like, what?
What is this?
What did they put in the chat room?
I don't know.
You can't play it on here?
I can, but...
What is that? Looks like some people banging on some cymbals.
Oh, no, let's see. It's taking forever to load, of course.
How many more minutes? Oh, it's No Doubt. Don't Speak.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, she's awesome.
Oh, okay.
That's a great song,
Can't play it, though.
You don't like her?
No, I can't play it.
Oh.
Because then we'll get a copyright hit from YouTube.
Ooh. For real?
For real. See, that's cringeworthy as well. For real. Oh, man.
Come on.
It's just, it's artificial blackness.
You love me. Artificial. I'm as far from black. I'm a blue-eyed, blonde, white woman.
I understand
Please.
that. But that's why I said artificial blackness.
I'm not even artificial. I'm as real as it comes.
You heard it here, folks. She's as real as they come.
They know that.
And double entendre fully meant and stipulated to. Thank you. Nothing.
Don't be using fancy words late at night. After beverages.
Look, a 50-cent word
is like a penny word to me. I mean, a $3 word to me.
You didn't even do your math right.
Nope.
It's okay, though. Anyway, I want to thank everybody who decided to tune in for the Ochelli Effect, which absolutely went nowhere except for those clips that I was going to play on your show.
What clips?
Oh, man. Well, there was the autistic kid who called in a bomb threat, apparently. Oh, no, wrote a bomb note. Let's see now.
What'd they do to him?
They're charging him with a felony.
Are you kidding me? The kid's autistic.
Yeah, right.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Yeah, you didn't see that?
No.
Oh, okay, well.
See, my older son is autistic, and I'd have a freaking meltdown if they suspended him.
Well, it wasn't just suspension, it was a felony charge as well.
I mean, okay, felony charge. See, I'm not really paying attention. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's unbelievable. Don't they understand that some autistic children have oppositional defiant disorder and they're just going to do some things? I don't think he should be charged with felony. He needs to be, obviously, punished. You know?
Right.
But it's not like that. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
What'd you put on there? I don't see it.
I tried to put it on there. I don't know if it made it.
Huh?
I said, I don't know if it made it. I tried to put it in there. In the chat room really quick toward the end of the show here.
Oh.
Here we go.
Who is that?
It's Prescott Bush.
Oh. All right, well, I have to take... No, they're called Norks.
Norks?
Yeah, I have to do something real quick before my show comes on.
Oh, okay. You go ahead and do that. Oh, man. Let's see. I'm going to try and pull back that bit. Maybe we'll go over that autistic video one more time just for everybody's clarification. But, yeah. The perceived bomb threat. Anyways, anybody wants to go to support this nonsense, go ahead to the ucy.tv page. And, of course, I always encourage people to make donations to ucy.tv, as I personally did this week. And also, the option now, I did put up the donate button on the ucy.tv/TOE page. It also has my correct email now, so you don't have to bother Jules or anybody else trying to contact me. You want to complain, you can complain straight to the little link there. And thanks to everybody who has tuned in via your Fondle Slab of choice through the TuneIn app, the Shoutcast, the iTunes radio or internet radio selections, so on and so forth. Enjoy that. It is what it is, and yeah, Cujo's barking outside, but her name is actually Alice, and I can hear her. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and of course this closes out the February 7th edition of the Ochelli Effect on UCY.TV radio. Thanks to Road Dogg for calling in. Do appreciate it. Let you speak your piece. Disagree with you, but let you speak your piece anyway. To say that I'm completely uninformed, well, that's interesting. What can I say? Maybe I am. Maybe I am more brain damaged than you can possibly imagine. Is that a reality? Is that a possibility? Has the Matrix taken you, or have you taken the Matrix into yourself? Who knows? Anyway, all of this comes to an end just a few seconds from now. And again, thanks so much for tuning in to the Ochelli Effect. Everybody, stay tuned for the show coming up, which is Jaded, which Kim will host, and again, I will be the designated live-in hostage. I want everybody to try and call in, though, and she will be using my Skype, so charles.ochelli on Skype, or 718-717-8296. You can join in with anything on your mind, apparently, on Kim's show, and we'll figure out a way to entertain it one way or another. So everybody, have a good night. That is that.
At the age of 19 in 1962, she was a...
See, but I have the files. You know, I read this stuff at the National Archives, and I read these other things. I said to myself, how can that be possible? You know, pistols and fondle slab of choice, and computers on the internet, professional wrestlers, and not Jesse Ventura style. It doesn't matter where the information comes from as long as it's real. It's hard to get real information because seriously.